Hey everybody, this is Edujo and welcome to the next video in my series on Python and creating the maths quiz by using some of the basic features and functions in Python. So this is where we got up to. So you open your maths quiz file that you had before. That's where we got up to. So in today's lesson I'm going to teach you all about variables. Well, not in the lesson, in the video. I'm going to teach you all about variables. Now variable in programming is a temporary storage area where you can save data in. So you need to have a name. Think of a variable as a box that's got a name and it has some sort of a value inside it. So the little container that we are going to use, I'll just put actually I'll put this right there. Remember, we want to ask the user for their name and we say, what's your name? Remember to press the enter key and so on. So now we want to have some place where we can actually save their name, right? So we're going to call it name, so we give it a descriptive function. So this is our variable. This is going to be our container that we save whatever's going to be on this side over here. So whatever's going to be that side, that is going to be saved. That value will be saved in here. In our case, we're going to ask the user to input their name, and then we're going to save that name in this container called name. So in programming terms, that is called a variable. A variable. And a variable could be text, it could be numbers, depending on what you've declared it as. So we will declare this variable as name, and we're now going to I'll teach you another function called input, just like this function was over here where you had print and then open and close bracket. Another function that you're going to use called input, that's where you get input from the user, and again you're going to have an open and close bracket, right? I'm just going to go at the back of that and I'm just going to put in hashtag again, and here I'm going to say we're going to store the answer, which will be the name of the user, in a variable called name. Oop, not name. Name. There we go. Let me just show you what that looks like. This is going to be an empty one as well. So we're going to do something in a moment in there, but let me just show you what this looks like so you can understand how it works. Or hopefully understand how it works. So let me press F5 to run it. So I'm running the code. Yes, we want to save it. So let's run the code. So it runs everything, but now there's a flashing cursor over there. We've got the flashing cursor and it's expecting us to say something. So I'm going to say Edujo. And remember, we gave the user the instruction. We said remember to press the enter key after every answer. There's an answer. We press enter and then the program is finished. Now the only thing we did was we entered that. So how do we know that whatever we entered in there is now stored in this variable? Well, we'll do a little test function, right? I'm going to say print open and close bracket. This time I'm not going to use any quotes because I'm going to print the value of this variable here, the variable called name. I'm going to print there. So I put in the variable's name, which is name in this case, and then I'm going to run the code again. So I'll just go run the code, save it, and then you can see that remember to press the enter key after every answer. Now can you see it's not very useful? It's flashing there, but it's not really giving the user any indication what the user should do. So I'm just going to type my name anyway, and when I press enter it then prints my name. I just don't know if you can, let me put it side by side. So it works sort of like, whoops, it works sort of like that, and just go like that. So you can see that's where we typed our name, which is in that little area over there, and then we want to print the name, which is this one here that is being printed. So that's how that works. Okay, so it's remembered the value that you input and it's printed it for you. Right, so let me just get rid of that one. So that was just for illustration purposes. But as you saw before, let me just run it again. As you saw before, it's not very useful, this bit over here, that bit over there, because although it says remember to press enter, it doesn't really tell you, type a name or something. So I just want to kill the program. So what we're going to do inside there is just like we did with the print function. It works identical. Inside there, I put single quotes, and I'm going to say there, type your name. Type your name. Colon, and I'm going to give it a single space. Right? Now I'm going to run the program again, and now you will see type your name. Now it's much more informative, much better. Edujo, enter, and that's the end of the program. So that is what a variable does. A variable will store the information that you input, in this case in a keyboard. You could have things like, and I'll actually show you when we get to it. Let me just finish this part of the code, and then I will give you another example of a variable. So I'm going to give it a blank line, and you should know by now it is just the single quotes. I'm going to enter, and now I'm actually going to use the name that the user has entered, and I'm going to just sort of greet them and sort of tell them all the best. So I say print, open bracket, close bracket, I put my little single quotes in. So I'm going to say print hi, comma, and that's going to give me the hi bit. Then I'm going to go past the single quote. Then I'm going to put in another comma, and then I'm going to use the variable name. Now I'll put in a space there. You don't actually have to. Let me do it without the space. You'll see what I mean anyway. I'm just going to do it like that for now. I'm going to add a little bit behind it because I want to show you something called concatenation, but let me just do it like that. So what's going to happen, you already know it works all the way up to there. So we're going to print a blank line, and then we're going to say hi, and it should say Edujo if I type in Edujo. So if all of this is correct, and that's why I'm testing it, I'll just run it. Welcome to Mascot, what's your name? Remember to press enter, and so on. Type your name, Edujo. Enter, hi Edujo, see? And it's put that space in by default. When you're using a variable to print, although there wasn't a space there, it will automatically add the space, and also there is no space over there. So if you use a variable name like this, it'll put in a space, okay? But we want to add something there. We want to tell them, or we actually want to add a what do you call it, an exclamation mark behind your name. So, but I'm going to use something called concatenation this time. So theoretically, let me just show you what I mean. So I'm going to put a comma, single quotes, and then I'm going to just put an exclamation mark in there. So we should expect it to say, hi Edujo, exclamation mark. Okay, and let's just see how that works now. Let's just see how that works. I mean, it will work, but it might have, sometimes you get, there we go, sometimes you get a little space. Now we don't want that space. So in the normal way that we do that, we want to make it grammatically correct. So there's no spaces there. Even if I go like that now, and I put a space over there, right, and I go F5, you will see it doesn't make a difference. So we should be seeing two spaces, which we don't. It's still the single space. And even if I, well, there's nothing else I can do because there's no spaces in there. So there's nothing there that we can do. But we can use something called concatenation. That is where instead of putting the comma over there, we join them together by using a plus sign. So now it's going to say hi, comma, put it space by default, and it's going to add whatever's in there against whatever the person types in. That's theoretically what it should do. So let's go ahead and try that. So we say OK, and now it wants to have our name, and remember we want the exclamation mark against the name. Hi Edujo. So now it's against. That's concatenation. So that's a difference if you want to get over that hurdle. Hi Edujo. Right, we're going to use another bit of concatenation. Theoretically you could, no, wait, that's not going to work. So we'll just carry on. So another bit of concatenation, and that is going to be all the best. So what I can do, well, there's many ways you can do it. I prefer it like this, right? So single quotes, and then I'm going to say space, otherwise of course concatenation will put it against all the best. Okay, all the best, just like that. So when I run it now, F5 and run it, it's going to ask me for my name. So I put in Edujo, yeah, my name quite a lot. Hi Edujo, all the best. So there you can see, because I put this a physical space in this time over there, you can see that. You can see that. What I also could have done, I don't like that method, but I mean it's the same thing. I could have just done that. If I do it like that, it's not going to work, but I put in the space there, so that should work theoretically as well. Edujo, and then you still have that same one. It's all about how you choose to do it. I like to go down the route of, in this case, just to concatenate it, and there we go. So that's how I like to do it. So that's concatenation. So that's a big word and something that you've just learned. And so we've got, let me just run that again, just make sure everything's working perfectly. Edujo, and hi Edujo, all the best. Cool. Now we're going to enter a few more variables. Remember what I said, a variable is a container that has a name and it can store a value. In this case, whatever you type is going to go into that value. But because it's a quiz or a game or a whatever, you want to keep score. So we must have a place available in memory. By the way, it stores all the temporary stuff in memory, which is your RAM, your random access memory, which is temporary storage. So you want to put it will save it there. So we're gonna save the score or the total. So I like to use score. So the variable name will be score, and we're gonna set the score of the user to 0 because they haven't answered anything correctly yet. In fact, they've not answered anything, but we just want to have it available so that we can keep score. So again, we need to use our comments, and this is a variable to keep the score. Also see, this time I don't say that it's a variable called whatever. I just say it's a variable to keep the score, just so it's descriptive to what's happening there. Okay, and something that we will do later as well, and that is to show the question number 1, question number 2, and so on. And I'm gonna add a variable for that. Maybe not now. I think when we get to the loop, I will actually explain that one a bit clearer. But for today's video, I just wanted to make sure you understand what a variable is. Variable is a container that has a name, and in this case, whatever we type in here is going to be stored in the variable name, which is stored in the memory, the main memory of your computer. And here we just created a variable with a value of 0, also stored in memory, but we haven't used this yet. But it does exist currently, and when we run it, you will see again it's asking for my name. I'll run it. It says hi Edujo, all the best. But what it has done just before it got to there, it also created the variable score, and it's in memory. So it's holding two things in memory right now, and that is the value of Edujo in the variable called name, and the value 0 in the memory called score. Right, I hope that makes sense. As we go along and as you get better with your coding, all of this will make more and more sense. So in the next video, I will be teaching you a loop, how a loop works, and hopefully in the same video, or maybe the one after that, I will also teach you how to create or generate random numbers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, and yeah, tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about me, about this, the resources, and your teachers if you're doing Python or something like that, because they could use this in their class, as I know quite a few in the UK already use my videos in their lessons. So yep, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.